Hello, everybody. This is going to be a quick demo about the final keyword in Java. And so to start out, hopefully a lot of you are familiar with making variables in Java. And you're familiar with declaring a new variable. You give its type, the name of the variable, and maybe an initializer. We'll initialize x to 42 here. And you can then change these variables in Java where you can be like, all right, I want to make x 31. And there's a keyword in Java, just like we have a lot of keywords in here: public, static, class. There's a keyword in Java called final. And what final means is that you cannot reassign this variable ever again after the first time you use it. Now, you can use this for instance variables, so on a class, or a local variable can be made final. And what it's saying here is it cannot be reassigned. It can't be, you can't set it to 42 and then try to change its value later, okay? And so we can't do that. We can't change it once we make it final. There's a lot of times we want to make things final because we're trying to prevent it from ever being reassigned ever again. And so there's some other uses for this too. I mean, this same rule applies to pretty much everything, any kind of variable you could make in Java, is that once you make it, let's make new two, right? Now I have this list of names, and if I didn't make it final, I could say like names equals null later if I wanted, and that's perfectly fine. Like there's no compilation error with that. I can make it a new array list later if I wanted to, right? And there's no problem. As soon as I make this final, I can no longer do that. Now I have this, names cannot be reassigned. So that's what final is preventing. I can never assign another value to this names, right? So that's not allowed. What I can do is mutate the heck out of this list if I want to. So I can say names.add like Fred. Right? That's not a problem. If I want to sys out, this error, sys out names, names totally now has Fred in it, right? Names totally now has George in it. No problem at all, right? Now, if I said, like, let's say we had some bonus thing here where I had like some other list, string, other list, right, is a new linked list, right? And I set names to be that other linked list, right? I can add these things all I want. Like that's totally fine. I'm mutating it. I'm changing it, right? In this scenario, right, I'm allowed to change the contents of it. I can't say names equals other list again, right? That's not allowed, right? So even though this wouldn't be changing the contents of names at all, like I made an alias to it right here, I set it to the exact same value, right? That's not what finals is doing. What finals is doing is very specifically, right, saying you can't reassign this to any. Let me make this a new linked list again. But I can go ahead and mutate it to my heart's content. Okay, and so it's a very limited amount of constraints. This is not making this names immutable. What it's saying is you can never reassign this. Now, what I will say is that combining final, using final is how you make immutable values. So if I make a string speech, right, and that's going to be like 4 score and 7 years ago. And that's my string. I again can't say speech equals, like it is not the critic who counts. I can't change my speech to something new, right? Oh, excuse me, I can right now. If I do this sys out, I can change speech, right? Critical counts. But if I make it final, I can't do that anymore. Like now, I can't reassign it. And so that only prevents that. Now, string is immutable. So if I wanted to say speech dot append, there is no append, right? There's actually no methods on it. Our forefathers. The fact that string is immutable means that you can't change it, like sort of, and so this final is used as instance variables in there, and just basically the messages that string accepts. Like it just doesn't accept anything. It just chooses not to mutate anything. And immutability is very powerful. This final, hopefully you're picking up a sort of a limited amount of control, access control. It's sort of limiting how much it's actually preventing you from doing, but it's just this assignment situation, as we'll say. I'll say one last time. One last time, let's do one more thing, which is an array. An array is an object, obviously. I don't know if obviously is the right thing. Array is an object. It's not like primitive types like X here is that's an int. An array is more like a list or a string, and then it's an object. And if I say that's a new int of length 1, right? Again, I can say array equals null later if I want. I can say array equals a new int like 13 if I want. All these are fine. If I sys out array, I don't know if you know this, but like array has like the most useless by default toString. You can say arrays a toString array. I'll print out something a little more useful. You should see 13 straight zeros here, right? Now, as soon as I make this final, now all of a sudden these two things are illegal because again, you can't reassign things. I can, however, say array, and now when I print it, of course, default value for an array is 0 of integer. For Boolean, it's false, and for objects, it's null. I can say array sub 0 equals 42, all I want, right? Or 31. Or 231, let's say, right? I can do all this stuff I want, no matter what. I can be like 231, array sub 0. I can be like plus plus array sub 0. I'll make it 232. I can be like array sub 0, like times equals like 7, right? 1624. And so rather critically, the key takeaway from this is final is a keyword in Java. And what it's preventing you from doing is reassigning some variable, some local variable or some instance variable. There's actually also a final you can apply it to classes, which has a different semantics. It's making it so you can't reassign it, but what it's not doing is preventing you from mutating objects that are mutable. String is not mutable, so like you, good luck, you can't mutate it ever, whether it's final or not. Obviously, you can free to do that, and arrays are the contents of an array, of course, are mutable, and so you can mutate that. And so this has just been a quick video on the final keyword in Java.